Don't engage alone. We do this together.
Yeah!
Yeah!
We got it! We got it!
New 52 booklet.
Somebody clip this.
Welcome to Under Two Capes. I'm Jared. I'm here with Robert. What's up, dude?
Yo, what up?
And today we are talking about what is probably one of my favorite Justice League of America runs eras. Let me put it this way: eras. It's the Brad Meltzer / Dwayne McDuffie / Robinson era of the team. And yeah. So for context, Infinite
Crisis occurred.
It's basically taking place after Infinite Crisis, and after like 1 year later, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman return from their individual like vacations, if you will, and decide to reform the League. They actually have a great issue where interspersed. Yes, it's that. Yeah, exactly.
Look at it. Look at it. This is just. I have just the cover because I ripped off, but I still have all the autographs.
Well, there you go.
And I still remember having Dwayne McDuffie sign one of the books before. This is a year before he passed.
Mm-hmm.
And he just said, "Oh, you're gonna take it and get slammed?" Like he cracked up because people, believe it or not, creators more prefer these shredded books because it shows you it's well read.
Yeah, exactly.
It proves to them you're just getting it signed because you want to meet them. It's not a case you want to sign and slap it.
Yeah, exactly. So the lineup of this team is actually a pretty solid lineup. Obviously, it's the Trinity and Green Lantern. And what's interesting, there's no Flash.
Flash. To be fair, Flash was going through a lot of stuff. You had
but I'm like, it's interesting seeing a Justice League lineup without the Flash. So it's the Trinity, Hal Jordan, Hawkgirl, Red Arrow,
and they agreed to rotate with John. That was agreed upon.
That works. Black Lightning, Red Arrow, Red Tornado.
By the way, to make it clear, Red Arrow is Arsenal. Roy.
Yeah, Arsenal. Essentially Arsenal. Yes. Vixen.
Hawkgirl.
And I said Hawkgirl. And honestly, a pretty good choice for the leader of the team, Black Canary.
My favorite because she earned it. Can we agree to one thing? New 52, Black Canary never would have been leading the Justice League.
No, well, that's one of the characters they royally screwed up in the New 52.
And I don't know why they kept her being a musician. That tainted her.
Mm-hmm.
I guess some writers loved it, but it tainted her because it made her irresponsible.
Yeah. So basically, the first story arc of this team is actually just it's a story, but also it's interspersed with Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman, voting on who gets on the team.
Well, first I want to say, the issue 0. What I love best about the issue 0, it jumps between, they say then and now, and it references so much. Like, Red Tornado Sacrifice, which was back when Wonder Woman was in the jumpsuit, the white jumpsuit.
Yes. It references Superman dying, and I like how Batman's like, we will do better, referencing the fact that Justice League sucked. That's what they're saying, Robert.
Oh, but by the way, I gotta say, I do like how some of the ones they show, like they see the wedding of Hal Jordan, and I just love it. Like, I thought Ollie would be last. Please, Bruce, everyone had their money on you, then Ollie.
Yeah.
By the way, don't let it. I love it how Diana rolls Clark like money. Wait, people were gambling. Clark, please tell me you're joking. Don't let him fool you, Diana. Who do you think won the poll?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you have stuff like that. You have they predicted a lot of stuff.
And they have here's the other thing that I like about this one.
The death of Paul. They would actually rebring this moment back up here during the new Krypton special.
Yeah. Here's the other thing I really like about this run in general. First, it treats them more like they're a family or a group of friends than a lot of runs have done.
And basically, this retconned so many Trinity elements that never existed.
Yeah.
Because I keep telling people this, and I've told you this multiple times. The Trinity is newer than people think. Cap, Thor, and Iron Man were a trinity well before Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman were a trinity.
Really? It wasn't until like they did the book Trinity where it was like a finalized concept.
Well, oh yeah, you mean the Wagner Trinity book?
Wagner Trinity book,
yes. That was the first time they solidified it, and then it was leading up to Infinite Crisis. Until then, but that was because you had the editorial fights and everything going on.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't like this is a concept that goes back to like the Golden or Silver Age. No,
because I remember that Wonder Woman was always, let's be honest, not, you've said this before, not respected because except for until Perez, she was the load. She basically.
Well, remember, Perez was the first writer that was on Wonder Woman that wanted to write Wonder Woman.
Exactly. Up until that point, no one did, but which I gotta give Marsden credit. He put a stipulation in the contract. You cannot take off more than 6 months of not bringing an issue, otherwise you will lose the right. And that's still in play today. From what I understand, they're still under contract. DC does not 100% own 1D. It's a 90% owning, but it's still under the contract.
I did not know that. I wanted to clarify that.
That's why it took forever. That's why it took forever to get things resolved, to have even Donna appear in a show, was because of the hangups.
Okay, that's why. Well, that's very interesting. But yeah, and that's the thing. What I'm talking about is that I've talked to a friend of mine who was a former DC editor, and what she said is that they considered the Wonder Woman book the practice book for junior editors before they move them on to like a book that actually matters in DC.
Again, until Perez, because
that's when Perez severely raised the like cliche.
Well, and Karen Berger.
Karen Berger. Because again, you had someone that was passionate about writing Wonder Woman. That's why I say Perez, so far we haven't gotten a god tier run for Wonder Woman since Perez.
I would say no. Jimenez and Rucker came close. Maybe not at Perez level.
Jimenez definitely is up. It's not up to the Perez. That's the thing. God tier.
It came close. It came close.
Here's Perez. Here's Jimenez. Here's Rucka.
First Rucka.
Here's Tom King.
Okay, dude.
I had to make that joke. We're talking about one, but anyway. So on to this. So what I definitely like is that when they're in like the first actual issue of this run, when you're voting, when you're doing the voting area and you're hearing like Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman talking about their reasons for all these different characters. Now you have tactical reasons beyond family reasons and such.
I say no. Did they actually interview Meltzer about this? He said like, unfortunately, that's where Wonder Woman's symbol is at.
Yeah. I'm like, what are you gonna do though? They're doing the symbol thing.
But like I say, Red Tornado. I had no much clue about Red Tornado until this.
Yeah, exactly. He's one of those characters. Again, this is why I like this run.
You recommended Geoforce was also a member.
Oh yeah, Geoforce. Here's the thing about this run. It took like it sort of broke the mold of having like the same lineup of like Aquaman, Flash,
Martian Manhunter. This is the first time he was never on the team ever.
Yeah, and they took a more like, less known characters and elevated their IP, I think, a little bit with this run.
Other funny thing is, when you really see about it, them trying to figure out the lineup was rendered moot by the end.
Yeah, because they're like, okay, so we're just gonna go with whoever was here during the Amazo thing.
Yep. Also, Platinum made an appearance, and that's why I still one of the reasons why I keep saying Platinum should be a member of the league.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. I like where like because isn't that kind of how the Justice League always forms? It's the group that was around when like the crisis happened.
Yep. One thing I should have point out, one character who they've never fully resolved was this evil Mr. Miracle, whatever.
Yeah, that was weird.
Dr. Impossible.
Yeah. So then the interspersed with the issues of them picking the team, you also have Red Tornado. His mind is like transferred into an actual flesh and blood body, and to hear his internal monologue talk about how weird it is to not be able to hear all the servos and stuff, be able to like feel his wife.
One thing I love, though, I love their little crossword puzzle game and everything. This whole notion of, because they're jokes when you were thinking about a crossword puzzle answer, they're pretty much the answer to riddles. And I just love it how he understood a glorious gander being a goose, and yet Platinum had no clues. He's like, I don't get it. That tells you the difference between Red Tornado and Platinum.
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah.
So then the other thing I like, so I like how when they battle Amazo, you hear
to be fair, this Amazo is made out of the body, the original robotic body of Red Tornado.
But what I like is like I think it was Red Arrow. You have him doing the narrating, and he's like, yeah, the way that like Hal Jordan, Diana, Clark, and Bruce attack Red Tornado, they've war gamed this like 80 times, so that they don't even have to say what they're gonna do.
Oh, I love this. Black Canary, what did you do to figure out the weakness? Just
stop stabbing. I love that. One of these has to be the weakness. One of these has to be the weakness.
Like the heel.
And again,
and what does Hal do? He then zaps all their heels.
Yeah, again, that's the other thing I like about this, because as a Black Canary fan myself, I like how, again, a lot of these characters are like not treated as jokes; they're treated as like great characters.
I will say this: of all the descriptions they gave to why they didn't have him in the league, Dr. Light was the worst one because of the male one. To which I'm like, gee, Brad, you mean the thing you did tainted her?
Yeah, I'm about to say
that was the worst one. That was one of the worst ones.
Yeah, exactly. But then, so then we get after that, it was the Lightning Saga, right?
Well, yeah. Well, first we also mentioned who the villain was.
Oh yeah, Solomon Grundy.
During one of his reincarnations with a brain in his head. Although he would later look back and realize, oh, that was stupid of me.
But it was also brutal where he like literally
he ate his Red Tornado's human hand.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up. He bit the arm off, and I'm like, oh god. And then you also have Ed Banis's art. It's kind of funny. Ed Banis is one of those characters where he draws a very specific type of female character, and I'm fine with that because it looks great. But it's like also he draws a lot of really brutal parts really well.
Oh yeah, like hold on. Right here.
Yeah, exactly. Where he tears off the arm.
Yep, but then we have one issue that deals with the aftermath, which is when they're establishing the league and all that. And this is when Roy becomes Red Arrow.
And you also see like Donna's crying because she's like, "Oh, they would be so proud." I love where Ollie answers the door and he goes, "Okay, you guys want me to join the Justice League? No, we're here to see Roy."
Oh, by the way, also we had this one issue, the Gene Hoff villain issue.
Oh yeah, where Rod was it Red Arrow that was like caught in a building that?
All right, this is after the Lightning Saga, but yeah, that's the problem with this Meltzer run. It's too short, and he sets up too many lingering plot lines that he never dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he set up stuff going on with Vixen, her powers because they got stolen. Her powers got stolen, and when she got them back, they're wonky. She's starting to steal superpowers as opposed to animal traits.
That was cool. I like that.
Yeah, but again, but yeah, then we have the Lightning Saga, which that's more of a Legion story than it is even JLA, JSA. And let's be honest, that was Jeff Johns. Brad was working with him.
Yeah, because we all know that Jeff Johns is a big Legion fan, which I will say.
Yep.
I did like where Starman goes, yeah, I went to Earth 22. They don't like each other that much over there.
Good start.
Yeah,
well, because remember, they tied into Injustice Society.
Yeah, exactly. So,
then, like I said, we had that, and then he wrapped it up. And like I said, it was like, what, that soon? But one thing I did love, what are Green Arrow and Hawkman known for? Bickering, arguing, getting into fights. What does Hawker and Red Arrow do? Hey, check up.
Yeah, I know. I was watching that and I was like, okay, I can kind of see it and it kind of works.
Yep, right there. Like, you make one bullseye joke.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I did like that one issue where it's like everyone on monitor duty and all that.
Yep, that's his last issue. That was the last issue.
I really dug how they did that one, how each one's different, and then you kind of see where like each one's personal life is like.
Well, the Red Tornado clearly has been brought down. He's reset. Unfortunately, he's not back to where he was before.
Well, yeah, because his body was like severely damaged, so they put him back in the robot body, right?
Well, yeah, but even then, he's even worse than he was before he got put into the human body.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he's a little more like robotic.
Yep. Also, I love the Black Canary using the harmonica, saying it helps practice her vocal cords.
Yeah, there you go. Again, a lot of this stuff, it's like it's answering a lot of questions you didn't know you had about the Justice League. Even answers a lot of questions about the Hall of Justice, like where they have their own, basically a danger room where they have all their like scenarios in there. They have the teleporter, which brings them to the Watchtower. It's all it's all a lot of
the door they called them.
Yeah. And then have
but yeah, that was Meltzer's run. Oh boy, okay, we're done. Just kidding.
Yeah, we're moving on.
But yep.
Second Coming, or which one was this?
The wedding special, because this is where it started. The McDuffie run. The McDuffie run started on the Justice League wedding special.
Who was getting married?
Green Arrow and Black Canary.
Okay.
Oh, and look how they open it.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, and think about it. This is perfect.
Yeah, and actually, wait. Oh, here we go. It's labeled in my trade as the Injustice League arc.
Oh, that's what they led right into. That's what it led right into. Basically, this isn't the actual wedding. This is the lead up to the wedding. And oh boy, that wedding was a train wreck. More
on that in a future episode. But what I did like about this, I like where they formed the Injustice League, and they slowly systematically take out each member of the Justice League, and so Superman's like, the hell is going on right now?
And they bring in Firestorm. Basically, we're already getting a shuffle on who's on the team already.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like everyone's kidnapped.
Can I say this though? Starting from this point on, this is going to eventually become, for the rest of the series, the editorial interference era.
Okay, do you want to clarify that?
Editorial is going to keep butting in, going to keep on taking members away. Right after Dwayne started to build up to it. That's why he eventually gets fired from the book, because he actually shared it publicly. No animosity, just saying being honest, and he got fired for it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but
They really, and then we also have Ed. But Ed clearly understood the assignment right here with this.
Yeah.
So. Again, he draws these characters very sexily, and I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that.
Even though he is notorious for always doing that curve where you have to see both their butt.
Oh, you mean this? You mean this?
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, even though that's like not
physically possible,
unless they're like Reed from Marvel, but still. But anyway, so we get that, and again, I liked how like the superheroes aren't expecting like at this point these supervillains to be that well coordinated, so they just capture like Wonder Woman and like a lot of the characters that they really wouldn't be able to capture.
Exactly, and but yeah, it's a nice story. But I also like how Batman pretty much forces Firestorm to join. It's like, that wasn't a choice. You're on, because he's like, you're too powerful.
Yeah, exactly. We need to watch you because we don't know, because we want to make sure we're not gonna have to take you down eventually.
Yep. Then we get a tie-in lead up to the Tangent Universe crossover, Superman's Reign, and then we get a nice issue that was a lead in a little bit with EBS on artwork.
There you go.
This one was a bit of a lead, or at least on the cover, and a backup story.
Okay.
I think. No. Actually, no, he just did the cover, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the one where everyone's coming to the league for Sanctuary. Why? Because this is when the villains were being gathered up for Salvation Run.
Okay.
So that was the tie-in there. And we have the Key hacking his way in and everything. This is a case where you could doubly tell Dwayne was trying to just come up with anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have Sanctuary on here, and then so explain Sanctuary to the audience.
So Sanctuary was a planet that basically that all the villains were being put on.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's kind of an interesting idea for a prison because where are you gonna go?
Exactly. Okay, here's the EVS drawn issue.
That's not bad. I like. Oh yeah, that
The
was
one-
actually included. I forget which omnibus. I have that issue. I think it's in the Gail Simone Wonder Woman one.
Even though it was still Dwayne writing this.
I think it was one of the omnibi I
Oh
have.
no! At the end of that omnibus, that was a sensational Wonder Woman story you're thinking of.
Oh, but because I remember it was drawn by EVS and also had the Flash in it.
Yeah, but that was a sensational Wonder Woman story.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for. And then we get this. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Then we get this issue. This is the one that led in the Final Crisis. This is the one where this is where we find out about their little secret room and everything that was established.
Okay.
But I love it. I think, is this the issue where that happened? Because this is basically, this is where we're introduced to this secret room. Someplace where they can be able to talk and everything, showing that they're still working on the League behind the scenes, even though Black Canary's the one in charge.
Yeah. I like how she. We'll get
to that. That's during this part, I believe.
Okay.
I love that though. Dwayne introduces it, and it already has Dinah show up and be like, "Oh, like you know how Steel is. Once you get him talking, he just brags about his work."
And she's like, "Don't mind me. Keep on with your secret meeting."
I don't. And then she tells them off, basically saying like, "Okay, here's how it is. You picked me to be leader. That doesn't mean you get. And the reason what you doing all this now is what led to what happened during the crisis in the first place."
Well, yeah, because they were keeping secrets from each other, right?
And the League.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so this then eventually leads to a new Amazo arc, which is what ends up being the accumulation of what's going on with Vixen. Oh, but I gotta say,
there you go.
Yeah, exactly. I love the point though where he basically caused Anna to lose her mouth, and then and she has a nosebleed, meaning she'll suffocate.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and so what does he do? She spells it in her blood.
Yeah, I love that. And then so later on, you also have the part of that where like reality is sort of played with. There you go.
That's the one where we get the different, like Elsewhere. In fact, it's called Elsewhere, I believe.
Yeah, well, there you go. And I wonder what pairing happens in this Elsewhere. You know me, Robert.
I know.
Which I like that. And also, you know what? Great.
It just showed multiple variations, and
which I'm fine with.
Which basically, this is where they connect Vixen's power to Animal Man, claiming that he was the one, the yellow aliens.
Which that's
of
cool.
Course, but then he later says, "Of course, I could be messing with you, and that could be lie." I love when Dwayne does it. He reveals it, but then backpedals saying like he could just be. But
I like when he does that because, like, in the event that this is controversial, I could just leave it out saying this is not true.
Exactly, and then it gets wrapped up here, but that's not the last we'll see of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do like that. Basically, Vixen finally gets her powers resolved.
Yeah, and by the way, great Wonder Woman moment. I liked where Vixen said she rallies the League and says, "Hey, we're gonna go and do this." And then Wonder Woman is like, "Great, I want to live in a world where my husband's alive." And then and Vixen goes, "Yeah, Diana, about that." And then Diana goes, "I don't care if Clark and I aren't meant to be together." Yeah,
I do not wish to know without that help. I do not wish to know. Oh, without that help, I may not have the strength to do what must be done.
Yeah, so like even Diana is like, I have to put aside my happiness for the betterment of the world.
Why didn't they do that in post Rebirth?
I know.
I agree with you on that one.
It's because they wanted to be vindictive. That's why, Robert. That's why.
All right, but then we get the milestone stuff, which brings back Dr. Light. And this, have I got a story to share to the audience?
Go ahead.
I'm the reason why Dr. Light's back.
Ooh, tell us more.
Okay, I went to a panel at Chicago Comic-Con. I think it was before it was C2E2. It was still Wizard Chicago. And I asked Dan DiDio, what's going on with the female Dr. Light? Everything, Justice League, just you wait. I didn't, because he had an open email, I emailed Dwayne McDuffie and asked about what's that about. He's like, I have no clue what you're talking about. But then sure enough, she appeared in here. Well, then I asked Dwayne McDuffie, and he clarified what happened. He said when I sent the email, he didn't get word. Not long after that, Dan came like, put Dr. Light in.
Nice.
So because I asked.
That's a great, that's a terrific story.
Now, granted, when Dwayne got fired, the next writer could just dropped her, but no, James Robinson was a big fan of her. So this was what led to her being tied into the Superman books because he was working on the Superman books, in which case then she would appear more prominently in Supergirl.
Okay, that works. I like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
So because of me asking that question, but yeah, this is where they also finally resolve what the inconsistency, which is basically during Green Arrow, you had Dr. Light, Kimio, Arthur Light stealing Kimio's powers and even compares it to, I get everything. And yet she appeared perfectly fine during Infinite Crisis with her powers, even though this must have been happened during. It's like, wait, what? He clarified, okay, first of all, and then she also appeared in Birds of Prey number 100, perfectly fine. So first, the Green Arrow story was right kind of being after Infinite Crisis. Roll your head around that one. And then the appearance in Birds of Prey was her powers flaring up again on and off. But after Dr. Light, Arthur Light got turned into a candle during Final Crisis Revelation, she finally got her powers back from it. But yeah, throughout all you have the milestone characters being brought in and everything. And basically the whole point of this was Dwayne trying to reintroduce them. This is basically where they're trying to reveal how in Milestone, one of their main characters, I just forgot his name now, but he's basically like one of their godlike figures.
Icon?
No, not Icon, a different one.
So I know Icon, Hardware, Static.
Oh no, he was a character that was introduced ironically during Milestone DC Worlds Collide.
Okay.
Oh, first of all, here's that moment was tied up.
Yeah, I love that when she
comes up and brings his chair and it's like, of course she has to lean with it so we can see her ass.
That's Ed Dennis for you. She's like, don't mind me.
No, but of course we have to sit like that. It's like, really? But it goes with her attitude in this scene. And also, Len Wein wrote this one issue, but Starbreaker ended up becoming a big threat during this. Because turns out he was the threat they're trying to stop. He's working with Shadow Steve. Oh, yeah. You do know what Dr. Light's biggest weakness is?
What?
She's actually afraid of the dark, ironically enough.
Oh, that's actually really cool. I like that one. That's a good one.
Yep, and which eventually, now first she stops Shadow Steve here, and they're setting up stuff for Starbreaker afterwards. But then this is when editorial really butted in, because this is the post-final crisis issue, and you have Shane Davis working on it. Oh, Dinah decking Ollie.
Oh, there you go.
But this is because this ties into, I think, Cry for Justice. Yep, Cry for Justice. Okay. So she's decking him for killing Prometheus.
Okay, I see.
Which I will get to in a bit. But yeah, this is when the status quo got shaken up and a bunch of people had left and everything. And then this leads to Starbreaker showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And basically during this, it is when you have Rags Morales. And again, Dwayne understood Dr. Light. He's like, if you don't want to do this, Kimio, you know where the door is. On the contrary, far too many members of our members have chosen to shirk their responsibilities to this organization. I'm fully committed to the Justice League. I love that. Yeah, I love that. It shows you right there. She's not one that's just willing to drop. Now, of course, also she doesn't have her own book to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is where she and she's stuck with Firestorm. Now, you know how Dr. Light is. She's basically like, she's the type who'll be blunt. She's the type who will be like, oh, forget you. You know, I mean, like, you're being an idiot. So having to deal with the newbie and everything, the rookie, it's annoying. Mm-hmm. But through Shadow Seeds, using some new skills, internal, and takes Dr. Light so they could use her to bring back the re-empower Starbreaker.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here's the guy's name. It's Dharma.
Okay,
Dharma. That's the guy's name. Yeah, and basically this leads to Dr. Light and the others trying to stop with him. We get the Batman, the gun-wielding Batman back.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Which eventually an Icon shows up as they deal with Starbreaker. Because you remember about Starbreaker? He's an adult sun eater.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that? He's an adult sun eater. Not. That's what his race are. The Sun Eaters are the babies of their race. And here's what he actually looks like, his real form.
Is he related to Solaris?
No, Solaris is not a Sun Eater, the sentient Sun. Remember, the Sun Eater was used to attack Solaris during All-Star Superman.
Oh wait, does the Sun Eater have anything to do with Final Night?
Yes.
I was wondering. I'm like, okay, this sounds very much like Final Night.
Yep. I do also like this. That Shadow Thief ends up encasing Dr. Light in solid darkness, but then she busts her way out. Well, Firestorm was trying to help her, or was coming to help her, and then she's like, I came here to help you. Not really necessary, was it? No. But then look at it. She didn't realize, like, oh, he's disappointed. Well, maybe there's a way you can help. He escaped last time by utilizing the darkness inside his mouth. And I love it. Like, he covers his mouth, and then he tells them, I'll fill up other holes. Actually, he says, like, bad news for you. I just saw another dark orbit of yours that may need plugging.
Oh God.
Yeah, basically they fight Starbreaker, stop him, and the gun-wielding Batman shoots him with a special type of bullet.
There you go. Kind of like how we shot Darkseid.
Up a bullet made of luteum.
That's a weird name for a bullet, but okay.
No. That's the metal it's made out of.
Oh, yeah. It's a weird name.
Unfortunately, this was Dwayne's last issue. And you could tell because he rushed this. This was rushed. And unfortunately, that's what I said. He was unfortunately fired from that. But that's like I said. You could definitely feel throughout this whole run that this was Dwayne trying to make something out of what editor was giving him.
But regardless of...
it was great. It was so brilliant.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is one of the occasions where I encountered editorial interference for sure, but it was actually pretty solid for the amount of editorial interference it went through.
And hey, editorial interference gave him Dr. Light.
Yeah, hey, there you go.
But like I said, unfortunately, because that was when they decided, we're taking away Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Okay. Oh, and you can't do anything more with Red Arrow and Vixen, not Vixen, Hawkgirl. She's going to die and come back and be back together with Hawkman. Oh, okay. Oh, and you can't do this. Oh, and you can't do that. It was like, if you ever look at the behind the scenes stuff from Dwayne, it was frustrating. So, but
I bet.
He was a skilled enough writer that's why it was still high quality.
I see. Yeah, exactly. Because I still credit, like say Dwayne with like a lot of the good episodes of JLU. So
he was the showrunner. He was the showrunner of it. So even the episodes he didn't write had to go through him.
Which is interesting because, and that's why I think his run is so solid, because he's experienced writing a team of characters and handling this particular team as well, even if it's a different lineup. And honestly, it's a very unique lineup that I enjoy.
Yep. Len Wein would then utilize this one, bring Plastic Man into the loop, and he would give an interesting explanation about the Royal Flush Game. They're an organization led by the original Ace.
Okay, that makes sense.
Turns out, why do we always see him differently? Because he has them created each and every time. Like wherever they go, it's like, okay, you're A squad, you're B squad, you're C squad. All of them are a different one because he has the secret organization going on.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep. But then at the same time as this was going on, you had, and it'll lead into him taking over the book, Cry for Justice.
So what was the deal with that story? I have some of the issues.
Well, first of all, this was originally supposed to be an ongoing with a more proactive team and everything. But eventually, especially due to the artwork by Mario Cascioli, who I think is currently doing stuff on Thor. I think that's the same artist. I'm not sure. I mean, great artwork here. Look.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
But way too slow. So eventually just became a limited series. And basically, and you could tell when it went from one to the other. And then it was then decided, editorial butted in and basically told him, and we need to do some of this, shake things up, make things drastic. So kill off Roy's daughter.
Oh, yeah, that is very drastic.
It ends with her dying without no one being there. Mia, that was Speedy, the new Speedy at the time. She was supposed to watch her, and she stupidly just ran out to go play hero.
Of course.
And it turns out a big destruction happened by the time Roy got there. basically the house has fallen on Leanne.
Wow. Literally, it fell on her?
Yep.
Wow.
The house did, and Mia, it's just like that totally taint Mia. But then what did Green Arrow do?
Yeah, he just killed Prometheus.
He murdered him.
Mm-hmm.
That was cold-blooded murder. Would you even agree with that?
In terms of like
the guy was just there, like in his secret headquarters there and everything. We find out later that Ollie had asked the Shade to get him there. He just showed up there, boom. He wasn't hurting anyone. He wasn't threatening anyone. He was just monologuing, and then wait, how did you do?
You could have at least captured him. Exactly. That's fine.
Nope, he just murdered him. He flat out murdered him, which eventually leads into Robinson taking over, which, as you see here, this is when Mark Bagley also was on the book.
I saw that.
Yep, this is when Bagley was on board. And
I have a couple of issues of when Bagley, what was the artist of that? And wasn't he also the artist on Trinity at one point?
Trinity, which was a case where now he admits when he was working, I'm not as fast as I used to be. So they had to be, you only do a couple issues and you have these extra long backup stories second halves.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, you have Destro attacking here, which eventually leads to the Blackest Night crossovers.
Okay.
Which leads to Dr. Light getting a new outfit, by the way.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. Oh, no. Actually, no, not yet there. First, she actually gets her outfit completely shredded.
Well, of course, because it's comics.
Yeah, well, to be fair, showing just how badly injured she's getting.
Okay, that works.
You know what I mean? Even though, and this is Bagley. He's usually being tasteful about that. But, yep, sure enough. Now, this is also where we get just like Detroit showing up.
Okay.
And I gotta say, Detroit's worse than the one you consider one of the worst incarnations.
Yeah, because I'm like, you have Aquaman in a landlocked state. What?
Yep. Yeah.
Then you had it where if he didn't get into water in an hour, he would die.
I know. It's just like, what? Seriously, at least you have the one league dealing with Doomsday and Despero and Starbreak. No, that was a blah ha ha. But still, at least they still dealt with some very serious threats. What is the Detroit known existing?
Yeah, exactly. That's their threats. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so this would eventually lead to James Robinson taking over, and we would find out some of the other leaguers would leave. But this then would lead into him having Dick Grayson Batman, Kong Gorilla, Dr. Light, Mon-El, Vic, and Starfire.
That's an interesting lineup for a Justice League.
Yeah, Vixen decides to leave and everything. But yeah, you were going to have Donna and Dick on board, which is like, that's fitting because they fill in for, and Mon-El. Think about it. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman.
Oh, there you go.
Because Superman was off on New Krypton.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Mon-El was meant to fill in for him. Look at this image of Donna here.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I noticed her costume's a little more open in the chest area.
About as open as Starfire's.
Yeah, exactly.
But unfortunately, here's her new outfit, Dr. Light's new outfit.
I like that. That's just kind of cool.
A bit more cartoony, less hyper detailed. Unfortunately, this league didn't last that long because you had one issue, and then it basically fell apart by this point, because by this point, when Mon-El went back in time already, it barely even lasted.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean by editorial getting involved?
Yeah.
And then Dr. Light decided, also left the team by this point. She would stick around at the DC team. And then this would lead into the other JLA, JSA crossover, which dealt with all this done by Mark Bagley, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Both this issue, and even the Justice Society issue, all Bagley.
Okay.
So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 issues in a row.
Mm-hmm.
7 issues. That's 7 issues across 2 books a month.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, basically throughout all this is that the Starheart, that which gives Alan Scott its powers, has shown up fully intact, the entirety, not just what's in his battery. A big chunk of it has shown up, and it's basically taken over his mind, made him younger, and it's wanting to take over all magic.
That's pretty cool. I like that one.
Yeah, and basically throughout all this, everyone's trying to stop him. And then you have a point where Obsidian and Jade fuse together. Not good.
Yeah,
and then by the very end of it all, we find out that oh, by the way, this then ended up throwing a wrench into Bill Williamson's run on Justice Society.
Because
then it basically this put a lot of drastic changes on Obsidian and everything, and he's like, okay, screw it, I'm leaving.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because he didn't like how he had no say in it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Wait, last bet.
Okay.
Then we had them dealing with the Injustice Society and a being known as Omega.
Okay.
A big threat here, and this actually gives a bit of a redemption to Alexander Luthor of all people.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the last arc would deal with Eclipso.
Okay.
Which would also tie into Superman Reign of Doomsday.
That makes sense. That's cool.
Yeah, this is where we get the return of the black-suited Supergirl from back during Loeb's run.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, that was, I gotta say, I think Robinson had a much better handling on the editorial changes than McDuffie did. McDuffie did great. But as you see from what I just showed you all, it seemed like Robinson was much easier at rolling with it than taking offense to it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, let me ask you this. What's your overall favorite story from this era of Justice League? Mine, it's either the Tornado one at the very beginning or Second Coming.
Second Coming, for me, it's the Milestone one because of Dr. Light.
Yeah, that's a cool one. I take it Dr. Light is a favorite character of yours?
One of my all-time my number one favorite female hero. I'm sorry, even more so than Wonder Woman, because I read Crisis was one of the first books I read, and she was introduced in Crisis.
Okay,
and fair enough, dude. She had more importance in that than Wendy did.
Well, yeah, yeah, exactly. But all in all, pretty dope run. It's definitely so. The way I normally rate this is that, in my estimation, it's my second favorite Justice League run. My first being Jeff Johns from New.
Now you're saying the entirety from Brad
from what I've read.
Yeah, from what you've read. So for me, that would include Robinson's run. Of course.
Yeah. So because I've read some issues of Robinson's run of this team, and I still enjoyed it. So it was like, you know what, all of this I really dug. So yeah. Let us know in the comments below what you guys thought of this run, what your favorite story arc is. But so Robert, where can we find you, and what have you got coming on your channel?
Well, I've already gotten up to episode 400. Well, past episode 400 of my Brody to do. Go check that out.
Yeah.
Jared, I went, as you saw, well, yesterday as of this recording, we had gone over the Whom God Destroy. By the way,
when you posted that tweet advertising it, I was reminded about the trauma that story put me through. So thank you.
You know what different elsewhere that might give you different type of trauma? A brief celebration, but different one.
Oh.
I went over this with Pika, and I'll tell you off screen, but this would have ticked you off just as much.
Why did they put her with Steve Trevor or Batman?
We'll get to that. I'll tell you off. I'll tell you off screen.
All right.
But yeah, what else do I have going on? Just more Brody to do. I'll probably get back into game streaming eventually.
Sweet. So as for me on Movie Night, we're talking about Blue Beetle, and Robert, this actually applies to you. And next week I'll be doing a bonus member stream. So I'm gonna do is that, as you guys know, I normally for members upload like a video showing the comics I'm reading per month. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to do a stream, and maybe it'll be a panel stream. I haven't decided yet, where I talk about, and then I review the books that I've read. So there you go. Instead of just sending out those like little paragraphs. But anyway, on that note, stay heroic, everyone. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane. She belongs to General Zod. So is the Max Sabat for life. See you later.